Hi, this is Paul Kinkowski with the Systems Conference, and I'm here with Peter Lohmann, and we're going to be talking with him and finding out some of his favorite softwares and what he's going to be speaking out at the conference. So let's get ready for a good 8-minute episode with Peter Lohmann. Peter, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Happy to be here. So I'm a property management company owner in Columbus, Ohio. My background is engineering. I worked as a control systems engineer actually for about 5 years. And then in 2013, quit my engineering job and started RL Property Management. And today we manage about 650 single family and small multifamily rental properties here in Columbus, Ohio. So I'm a big systems and process guy. I love digging into trying to improve processes to make our company run better. I also do a lot of, I'm involved in the property management industry in a number of different ways. In addition to running a property management company, I have a podcast and a newsletter, and I just love putting out content that helps other people be successful with their property management business.
That is awesome. So what is your day-to-day software that you use daily that you just love? What's your favorite software right now in the PM industry that a lot of people probably know, but just your favorite?
Yeah, I think what I'm going to say here is Notion. We use Notion continuously, myself and my team, as a way to stay organized and document the, we use Lead Simple, of course, for a lot of our core processes, but pretty much everything else is in Notion. Everything from our PTO policy to what happens if a tenant calls and says they're locked out of their unit. All of that type of information is in what we think of as our company wiki. It has a task map. It has corporate policies. It has what to do if this random thing happens. That's all in Notion. It's easily accessible. It's easy to update. And it's just a really slick interface for keeping all that stuff in one place.
So I've never heard till today of Notion, so maybe I'm just out of the loop. So you got to kind of tell me a little bit like what Notion is. What is it? Yeah, what is Notion?
Yeah, it's web-based software. The best way to think of it is like it's kind of like a wiki. So you can add web pages, type on them, add pictures, add videos, link to other pages. And it's just a really fast and easy way to put together like a company knowledge base or a company wiki. I had been, prior to using Notion, all of that type of information was scattered all over the place. It was in Dropbox. It was buried in emails. It was in printed out binders. It was in screenshots in my phone, like all this different random locations. So I would constantly find myself answering the same questions over and over again from our team members. And I would get frustrated because I knew the information was documented, but I couldn't even find where it was documented. So once I started gathering all of that stuff together and uploading it to Notion, now everyone can see it, have access to it, easily searchable. It's easy to update. So go ahead.
Is it like Google Drive in some ways?
It's kind of like Google Drive, but it's more visual rather than just a flat list of files and folders. It's much more like a website, like web pages with information that link to other pages rather than you have to click to open something.
If someone is going to my event, is this something you'll be talking about Notion and helping people so that they could... let's say someone is using Lead Simple, someone's using AppFolio. They're using basically all the softwares you're using, and they're like, hey, I want something new. Is this something you're going to help train with people with?
Yeah, absolutely. Be happy to do that. Anyone who wants to get started with Notion, I can show, I have a video that I recorded years ago, like doing a little walkthrough of our company Notion. It's actually pinned on my Twitter profile. And if anyone's interested in working on their Notion or chatting about it or getting started, that's I'd love to talk. I could talk about Notion all day.
Well, we're actually going to add it, just so you know. The first day we have an advanced and a beginner systems. Beginners goes through the basics. Advanced goes through things that maybe we haven't heard about yet. So there's going to be a 20-minute session on Notion in the first day. It's just happening because you're telling me about it. And I'm like,
Awesome.
wow, this is something. When I don't know about something, I'm like, okay, we need to add it because whether you use it or don't use it, it's still cool to like get introduced to new software. So that will definitely be added to the advanced seminar. Then my next question is, and you kind of answered with the first one, but maybe you have one. What's a software you use that maybe people haven't heard of that you feel is a big game changer and you love, but it's just not that, it's not your everyday software that you go to every day. It's something that's just out there different, something that's unique maybe.
Yeah. So my answer here is something that I am going to be speaking on and had been planning to speak on at the conference. It's called Retently. And it's NPS survey software. So if you're not familiar, NPS is Net Promoter Score. If you've ever gotten one of those survey questions that says, how likely are you to recommend XYZ company to a friend or family member, 0 through 10, that's NPS. And it's a very standardized way of measuring customer satisfaction. How happy are your customers with your business? Like if I were to ask you, Paul, like, how happy are your clients?
They're
Do you
super
know?
happy. I'm retired.
They're super happy based on what? Yeah, exactly.
Based on the fact that I'm retired and all my doors are not mine anymore.
Yeah, and that's the case for almost everyone I talk to. Is you ask how happy are the residents, how happy are your property owners, and people have a general sense, but there's no objective data around that, and there's no way to track that over time. So like if you as a business owner want to start stepping back from your business and start taking more time off, like I take the month of June off every year, and you want to start getting involved in other things, you need a way to keep your finger on the pulse of how things are actually going. And NPS surveying is one way you can do that, because on a consistent cadence, whether that's monthly, quarterly, every 6 months, you can set up these surveys to go out to all your residents and all your owners in separate campaigns. And then you can view the trend line over time. Are my clients getting happier or less happy over time? Are my residents getting happier or less happy over time? You can also do things like track resident happiness over the course of a lease. So you could take a look at the scores from all your residents 2 weeks after move-in, 6 months after move-in, 90 days prior to renewal, and 1 week after renewal, and graph that and try and get a sense of like your customer life cycle and how engaged and happy they are with your company at those various key like points within the life cycle that they're with you. Same thing with your clients. So Retently is a software that lets you do this really easily. It's got a great Zapier integration. And so we've been really happy. We've been using it for years. It's fairly affordable. I tried a bunch of these other softwares that did surveying before I landed on Retently. So I'm going to be talking at my main talk at the conference about exactly how we use Retently to survey our clients and tenants and what we do with that information.
So is it like back when I did surveys, I used SurveyMonkey. That was what I did. Is it like that? Just easier to use, easier to track? Because I mean, I know that we used to do those, and we'd go. The art was to not have a lot of questions because if you had too many questions, they wouldn't answer it, stuff like that. Is it like SurveyMonkey, just easier?
It's a lot like SurveyMonkey, but it's specifically designed for this NPS surveying. So you get, I don't know if I want to call it like scientifically accurate results, but I think more consistent results that you can compare to your peers and across industries. The other thing it lets you do is, and I haven't dug deep into SurveyMonkey, so I'm just going to speak about my own knowledge of this product. If you get a good score, you can redirect them to Google and ask them to leave you a review. So that's a way you can increase Google reviews only from people who are already satisfied.
Okay. Yeah, I know we were using some survey software. I can't remember now what it was, but it did have that Google. But that's really awesome. I know that whether someone's using a different software or this software, I know everyone loves to learn about new softwares, new tools, the tricks of trade. My last question for you is looking at what you're going to be speaking on, and you are going to be, first one is harnessing automation for owner insurance management, a simplified approach. Correct? That is the first thing you're speaking on. Can you give?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we rolled out, I think it was about a year ago now, was automated tracking of our rental dwelling policy, basically our property owner's rental insurance, and whether or not they have us added as additionally insured. So this is something I think most property managers are aware of, the fact that they need to be added as additionally insured on their property owners' policies. But it's one of those things that just kind of gets kicked the can down the road because it's such a pain to actually track and enforce. And so I just got sick of this one day, and I figured out a way to automate the enforcement of this such that we have emails going out automatically for any owners where we either don't have a policy or the policy is expired. We have a series of 3 NAG emails that go out, and if they don't respond and we don't receive that updated policy, we then bill the property owner. I think we call it like a risk mitigation fee on a monthly basis until they get that information to us. So trying to do that manually would be a nightmare. So we developed a system to do that automatically, and I'm going to be sharing details on how we do that and the success that we've seen after we rolled this out.
That was a huge moneymaker for me, because you figure most people have like over 50% of their owners not having them as additionally insured. When you start the NAG email campaign, you get it down to maybe 25, 30%.
That's right. Yep.
When you start charging, you might get it down to 20%, 10%, somewhere in there. But at that point, those owners are bringing you profit in.
Yep.
And so the risk that you have that you were doing before, when they were not following their contract, at least now you're getting paid for your risk. At least now I always figure, if I got sued, I got enough money to cover the whatever I need to cover with the what my monthly fee is going to be. Not from that one owner, but from the pool 25 owners. Those pool owners is not a lot of money. So it's a good chunk of little change. So that was one of the things I did probably the year before I sold my company. I was very, very happy about it. The thing I was most happy about was I love the money. The money was good. The thing I was most happy about was that I got that 40 to 50 percentile down to like 10 or 20%. That was the coolest thing, is I had less risk because we had a process. So exactly. That's awesome. I know that's something a lot of property managers, it's like, I'll do that someday. And if that was us
for 8.5 years.
Exactly. But if they can see, I can put someone in charge of this, and the money we get each month will cover that remote person's salary or whatever it is that's going to run it, plus some. Exactly. And that's where it really makes you go, wow, well, I can do this. And you're decreasing your risk. What is the second thing you'll be talking about?
So the other thing I'll be talking about is the NPS surveying. So using Retently, getting results back from property owner surveys and using that information to improve the business and make our clients more happy, more successful, more engaged in order to reduce churn.
That's awesome. Yep. So I know, Peter, that you've worked a lot with Wolfgang in the past.
Yep.
And that the two of you, I feel like I'm talking to Wolfgang when I talk to you like that, like that technology, like always on the cutting edge, trying new things, probably failing on some things you try, and then going over and try new technology. So go to the conference. You're going to have Peter and Wolfgang, two people that are going on cutting edge technology, that like to do technology and have screwed up on technology multiple times, so that the stuff they have, they've tested, they've tried, and they are going to show you. You're not just going to hear from him and say, oh, great, this is what I need to do. You're going to have coaching sessions where he's going to be sitting in, helping you actively get these things started. So, you can come home with a lot of information. This is not a conference, it's a workshop, and we emphasize the work and the play. And you're going to have a lot of fun. And I know that we are so excited to have Peter. We've been, I've been following him for years and excited to have him as a speaker at this event.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to be there, Paul. And if you're listening to this and you're interested, I suggest moving on getting tickets, because this is going to sell out. I have no doubt.
And if you put Peter with a capital P, Rocks, you'll get $100 off. So Peter Rocks. Okay. All one word. Get that in. Sign up today. We are almost just at 100 signups now, I believe. And I haven't checked this weekend. So we only have 150 tickets. And we were at 80 about 8 days ago. So 80 something. Again, Wolfgang controls that aspect of it, but we will sell. I agree with them. And it's going to be a great event because not only do you have amazing stuff you're going to get to work on during the day, you're going to have so much fun at night. We have really fun activities planned to get you so that you will get to meet more property managers that you can work with on a daily basis after you leave our conference.
Can't wait.
Have a great day, everybody. I want to see you there.